A transgender man who tricked 3 women into sexual relationships by using a prosthetic penis has been convicted of assault by penetration. Tarjit Singh, who was born a female named Hannah Walters, but now identifies as a man, had abusive relationships with each of his 3 victims over a 6-year period. And during the course of the relationships, the 32-year-old Tarjit Singh would wear clothes during sex and in the dark would use a prosthetic penis to have sex with these women. These women later worked out that he was a woman, biologically, and he's now been convicted of 3 counts of assault by penetration, 6 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 1 count, actually, of making a threat to kill following this trial at Snaresbrook Crown Court. He's awaiting sentencing. Describing the sexual contact, one victim said he looked like a guy, he acted like a guy, and the victim only discovered that Singh was, in fact, a biological woman after finding the strap-on prosthetic penis some months into their relationship. She said she felt so stupid she'd fallen for such lies. Confused? Yes, I think we all are right now. JJ, I'm going to come to you in a moment because collect your thoughts. Bev Jackson is co-founder of the LGB Alliance, Lesbian, Gay and Bisexual Alliance, and joins us now. Good morning to you, Bev.
Yeah, good morning, Julia.
It's quite easy for us to look at this story and go, oh, this is all a bit silly. I mean, what? What are you talking strap-ons? And goodness me, how on earth would you not realise that someone was a biological woman, not a man? Okay, this is a biological woman living a life, looking like, wearing clothes as a man, convincing enough for certainly 3 women in long-term relationships with this person. And these women, when they discover that this actually was a woman and not a real man, a biological man, obviously press charges. And it turns out, Tarjit Singh had become pretty abusive and unpleasant when confronted. This raises so many different issues, doesn't it? Tell us what your reaction is to this story.
Well, this is a simple case of sex by deception, isn't it? And sex by deception is a crime. I mean, if any kind of sexual relationship between 2 people, you need informed consent. And one of the key aspect of informed consent is knowing what sex the person is, and we're using sex in 2 different meanings here, and obviously I mean male or female.
Yeah.
And so it's really an important aspect of any kind of sexual relationship to know whether someone's male or female. But there are people who are now campaigning to get rid of the offence of sex by deception. And Stonewall, for instance, thinks it shouldn't count because what matters is what's in your head, your gender or your gender identity, and not your sex. And actually, anybody who's been following the Alison Bailey hearing, in which she is suing actually Stonewall for discrimination, has heard a spokesperson for Stonewall say under oath that there's no such thing as male or female bodies.
Yeah, I mean, good luck with that.
People just simply have their own bodies. Now, this is a serious.
And we've had an MP say that babies aren't born male or female; they're assigned gender by their parents or by society. I'm pretty sure when my daughter was born, it was a girl. She was a girl, and she's still a girl.
Now, the thing is, though, Julia, you said at the beginning that it's a good thing the kids are at school, but what are they learning at school? Actually, we hear again and again that at school they're being taught that you might be a gender that's different from your sex.
Yeah, and also told that there are many different genders. Up to 200 genders. There aren't. There are 2. There's male and female. They have a very, very tiny number of people born, and I think in very difficult circumstances for them and their families, with sexual organs for both sexes, and very difficult decisions are made in those cases. But that is not the same as a trans issue. I mean, this is the sort of story a lot of people could be sort of sharing on social media and laughing about it. But we would say, basically, if these women think they're in a relationship with a man, it turns out they've been in a relationship with a woman, because this is a biological woman. Of course, I would face Ofcom complaints, and they'd probably be upheld if I referred to this transgender man as she. I'm sort of, the requirements now to not be transphobic, because I have to say he, even though this person was born a female named Hannah Walters. Now, this isn't about sort of being rude to people or being transphobic or anything like that. It's about talking about the reality, isn't it? The reality is, for these women, they thought they were having a relationship with a man, and actually they were having a relationship with a woman. That's the reality. Now, and it happens the other way around as well. But there has been an issue, and you brought this up with Stonewall, this idea that, you shouldn't even recognise these differences. There shouldn't even be this. It shouldn't even be considered an assault in that circumstance, because if I say I'm a woman or I say I'm a man, that is the end of the story. But we see this happening with guys like him. We see this particularly happening on lesbian dating sites. Tell us what's going on there, because this is quite a big issue for the lesbian community, isn't it?
Well, yes, you see on some lesbian dating sites, you'll find maybe 40% of the people on that so-called lesbian dating site will be people with male bodies. We were told that you're not allowed to say male bodies because there's no such thing as male and female bodies. But you and I know it's actually quite simple, Julia. As long as you can distinguish between reality and what is in a person's mind, it's clear whether people have male or female bodies. But it's not very pleasant for an 18-year-old girl who's going on a dating site for a first time, maybe nervously looking for a girlfriend, to be approached by someone with a male body and wanting to say no politely and kindly without saying, actually, I'm only interested in actual...
But then being told women. They're transphobic, and there's a lot of bullying going on. And again, I'm sorry, I don't think a lot of these, let's not say people with male bodies, men, I don't think a lot of these men are actually genuinely trans men. I think they're actually abusing the battle.
You said trans men. You fell into trap there,
trans
Julia.
Women. Oh God, I lose track. I think we all do, but I don't think they are trans women. I think they are just men who are abusive. I think there are genuine trans people. I do, genuinely believe that they are born into a different body, and I think we should give them every respect and empathy and help them to live their best lives. However, I think there are also an awful lot of, frankly, abusive, perverted men who are using that empathy and that respect to try and gain access to vulnerable women.
Well, it isn't possible to tell the difference, of course, and lesbians do have a right to have our own sites, our own dating sites, and we've seen people describe lesbians as sexual racists. For only wanting to have sex with other actual women. So, I mean, this is a serious case, and it's lesbians who have faced this kind of problem more than gay men, and which is why gay men are now gradually waking up to the fact that this is a problem for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good to talk to you, Bev Jackson, co-founder of the LGB Alliance. Of course, JJ Anisiobi, listening to all that, just shaking your head. I mean, I think we're all there right now, aren't we?
So confused.
The LGB Alliance has been criticised for being transphobic, simply for standing up for gay and lesbian people who, particularly lesbian, women, saying, you're right to say, no, I'm so sorry, I'm not attracted to you because you've got a man's body, because you're a man, and you can call yourself what you want.
Yeah.
But I have a right to say, look, I only find it sexually attractive. So men who look a certain way. It doesn't make me transphobic.
Absolutely, it beggars belief, and it makes dating terrifying. It's so confusing.
I mean, thank God we're not out there.
Thank goodness, yeah. Thank God we're off the market. If you buy a cat and the pet shop owner tells you it's a dog, and you say no, it's a cat, then suddenly. You have to believe what they're saying, but you're not allowed to have your own belief then.
And that's the thing. And okay, by the way, before you put the complaints in, that's not him comparing trans people to dogs or cats.
No, it's not.
No, but people will try and do that. You're using an analogy. This is a form of speech. I mean, you have to explain this stuff at really basic levels, don't you? But the vast majority of people, I'm going 95%, and I'd say 99% really, they just pretend they believe this stuff. We know what a male body is and a female body. We know what a man is and what a woman is. And we understand that people, want to live a certain life, dress a certain way. Some people have surgery. But this is about people not having their views forced on other people.
Yeah, it feels deceptive. If Tarjit Singh, who now identifies as he, that's correct. Yeah, Tarjit Singh, born female, now identifies as he. What would be fair is for Tarjit Singh to say to these women, "I was born female, now identify as male." Yeah. That would be completely fine.
Then, everyone could be free to make their own decisions.
But he has been deceptive.
But this is it. I mean, I find even discussing this, worried about the complaints. We shouldn't be. We need to have a proper conversation about, conviction for a criminal offence.